You want to talk about an unpleasant experience. My gallstone pancreatitis, that was about the worst, one of the very worst experiences I've ever had in my life. It was back in 2014, and I was drinking heavily at the time, had been for years, and I started to experience, I think it was in March of 2014, because I remember my younger sister had her first child just after I had gotten out of the hospital. But I was experiencing terrible abdominal pains, some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I was doubled over in bed, didn't sleep a wink like all night long. And I remember it hurt so bad that I was having trouble breathing. I couldn't take a deep breath because my stomach hurt so bad. And just expanding my lungs made my stomach hurt bad. And finally, after tossing and turning in bed all night long, I got in my vehicle, took myself to the emergency room, practically crawled through the door. And if you ever want to get somebody to stop drinking, just have them visit the emergency room when somebody's being admitted for gallstone pancreatitis. That'll get them to think about stop drinking right then and there. Anyway, I got admitted after waiting a little bit in the emergency room. I didn't have to wait that long. I hear that you have to wait a while nowadays. Sometimes the emergency rooms are backed up, but I didn't have to wait that long, and I finally got put on one of the emergency room beds, and the doctor came in to see me, and my pulse rate was through the roof. Stomach was killing me. They hooked me up to some IV bags. He looked at me and he said, "How much do you drink?" And of course, I lied. I had been lying to everybody at that point how much I drank back in those days, so why start there? I told the doctor that I drank some, probably more than most, but I didn't tell him the truth. But I think he saw right through me. He knew my condition. He must have seen it before. He knew my condition was a result of excessive drinking. And I went through 4 or 5 IV bags before I even had to go use the bathroom. And they put me into one of the hospital rooms while they were analyzing the test results. And they figured I needed emergency gallbladder removal surgery, which took place first thing in the morning once the surgeon got in. So I remember that a doctor visited me in my hospital room that night. He could even at that time, I was going through some early stage withdrawal symptoms, and he could see that. I was having trouble, my breathing was sporadic, and he kind of told me, he kind of leveled with me and said that I was way too young. Back at that time, I think I was 34 years old. I was too young to be experiencing what I was going through, and that I would be having gallbladder removal surgery in the morning. And I remember the guy even wheeling me back to the surgery room said something to that effect also. He's like, "Man, too young for this, dude." I was like, "Thanks." Yeah, that's what I gather. And I knew I drank too much at that time, but this was on what my condition was some experience on a whole new level. And so I remember going into the operating room, and next thing you know, you're out and you're back in your hospital room, and remember my parents came to visit me. Not that many people came to visit me, which is fine because I was kind of ashamed to be there anyway. But that was a wake-up call for myself and from what other people had told me too. It wasn't yet determined at that time that my condition was a direct result of my drinking. I hadn't divulged all that to anyone, and so they weren't quite sure what the reasons were that I was having my surgery, at least while I was still in the hospital. But I knew I was there. And so I got sober for a while when I got out, but it didn't last. But yeah, anyway, gallstone pancreatitis, or pancreatitis. I remember thinking that, I think that's what I called it. Thought that might be funny if the doctor came in to see you and he's like, oh, I got to tell you something, son. You got gallstone pancreatitis. Imagine if your doctor told you that. I don't think you'd think they're a very good doctor. No, the doctor's got to come in and say, your diagnosis is gallstone pancreatitis, and we must cut your gallbladder out. I remember thinking that might be funny. But no, and then one of the side effects, you get your gallbladder taken out. I remember they told me something. So this is another factor to think of. If you're a heavy drinker, you better stop drinking. When you eat, after you've had your gallbladder taken out, you have to basically eat very light foods for a while. And if you eat anything that's heavy or has a lot of fat in it, you probably want to make sure there's a bathroom nearby. Just saying. Yeah, it's for real. Yeah. So anyway, what an experience. I wish I'd have bit the bullet back then and just said, the hell with drinking. I'm done with it. Had my gallbladder torn out of my body. And I got sober for a while after that, but not for good. That didn't happen until a few years later. But anyway, just wanted to share that story with you because you don't think that drinking heavy catches up with you, but that's something that happened to me, could happen to anybody that drinks heavy for a while after time. You might have to have your gallbladder taken out because of pancreatitis. Hurts like hell. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. So, thanks for listening.